Dear students, welcome to you. At the last piece of information or the last lesson, the last episode that we have in this chapter, we're going to start some information about other glands and endocrine glands inside our body like pancreas. Let's go down in our lesson today to learn more about the endocrine system inside our body. The parathyroid glands, the next gland that we have, which is parathyroid glands. Its structure, it consists of 4 small parts. They are separated lobes, 2 on each side of the thyroid gland. Of 4 small separated lobes, 2 on each side of the thyroid gland, and it's a function, it's a secretion of parathyroid hormone and also the hormone which is secreted when the calcium level in the blood is below the normal. From the function of the parathyroid, it plays an important role in preserving the calcium level in the blood to the normal secretion of the parathyroid. And we have some diseases that associated with the hyper and hyposecretion. Hyper, as we said it, increasing, and hypo, it means decreasing of the secretion. One of the most important diseases, which is hyperparathyroidism, which causes increase in the calcium level in the blood. And also, as most of the calcium is released from bone, the condition is associated with increasing bone resorption, and the bone become fragile or very weak and liable for bending and fracture. While the hyposecretion of parathyroid or hypoparathyroidism, which causes a painful and convulsion of muscles and as a result of decreasing in the calcium in the blood. Its structure, it consists of 4 small separated lobes, and its function, there are 2 on each side of the thyroid gland, and its function, secretion of the parathyroid hormone. The hormone is secreted when the calcium level in the blood is below the normal, and it plays an important role in what? In preserving the calcium level in the blood to the normal hypersecretion or to the normal secretion of the parathyroid hormone. What about the diseases that associated with the increasing and decreasing of the secretion or the hyper and hypo secretion of the hormones of the parathyroid gland? Number 1, in the hyperparathyroidism or hypersecretion, which causes increasing in the calcium level in the blood. As most of the calcium is released from bone, that condition is associated with increasing bone resorption, and the bones become fragile and liable for bending and fracture. While the hyposecretion of the parathyroid or hypoparathyroidism, that causes what? Causes the painful and convulsion and muscle spasms as a result of decreased the calcium in the blood, and also it increasing the accessibility of nervous system. You're gonna be very excited for everything, okay? After that, we have the adrenal gland, the suprarenal gland. The adrenal glands. So the hypersecretion of the parathyroid hormone and hyposecretion, it depends on what? On increasing or decreasing the calcium level. In case of hypersecretion, which is preserving the calcium level in the blood to the normal secretion of the parathyroid. And this picture that to show us that what happened to the nervous system by decreasing the secretion of the parathyroid hormone, and also the convulsion and muscle spasms that may happen to our body as a result of decreasing the secretion of this hormone. The adrenal gland or the suprarenal gland. We need to know the location, function, and structure. Well, it locates, there are two glands, each one of them above one of the two kidneys. And what else? They are its structure. Each gland consists of anatomically and physiologically of two regions. One of them is outer region, which is called cortex, and the inner, which is called medulla. We need to know the hormones of both regions, the outer regions or cortex and the inner region or medulla. Let's start. Hormones of the cortex. We have a groups of hormones. They are secreted from the cortex, such as what? Number one, the glucocorticoid hormones. We have three groups. They are secreted from the cortex. The first one is the glucocorticoid hormone, which includes cortisone and corticosterone hormone. They have a specific function here. They are regulate the carbohydrate or glucose metabolism in the body. Its function again, they regulate carbohydrate. Definitely, why we write carbohydrate and between two brackets glucose? Because the glucose here inside our body, it considered as the fundamental unit between the cells. Okay, so glucose, they are linked together and to form a different body molecules like carbohydrate and starch and so on. And after that, we have what? From its name, mineral corticoids or mineralocorticoids. From its name, I need you to conclude something. They have an important role in what? In the mineral metabolism and balance of the body. Yes. One of the those groups, which is aldosterone hormone, is one of these group, and it has the function of, it plays an important role in the mineral metabolism. From its name, mineral, so it comes from mineral metabolism, and it balance also the body. It has also an important function of the increasing the reabsorption of sodium and increases the excretion of the potassium from the kidney tubules. As you know that each kidney consists of nephrons or tiny tubules, each one of them called nephrons. And if you want to know that each kidney consists of about 1 million nephron or the tiny tubules. After that, we have what? The sex hormones. Well, although the main source of sex hormones are testes in male and the ovaries in female, we have some similar hormones are also secreted from the adrenal cortex. Like what? Again, we have some similar hormones. They are look like the hormone that's secreted by testes and ovaries, such as what? We have a testosterone and female sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone. They are secreted and related to the sex hormones. After that, we need to know what happened to the diseases, or the increasing or decreasing, or definitely the tumors or of any conditions for the adrenal gland. Tumors or any condition that causes what? That may causes the unbalanced secretion of the adrenal cortex, and also it increases the level of the sex hormone above the normal one. That may causes another symptom, which is what? Number one, that leads to the masculinization in the female, or increasing and the strength of the muscle in the female. And on the other side, in male, the something called feminization in male. The muscle and bones become more soft instead of being very strong in male. And finally, the atrophy of gonads in both sexes, male and female. While the hormones of the inner side, which is called medulla, it secretes hormones of adrenaline and noradrenaline hormone. Again, the hormones of the medulla, or the inner part, which secrete two hormones. Its function secretes hormones of adrenaline, or epinephrine hormone, and noradrenaline. Well, the function of both of them are: the function of these hormones, adrenaline and noradrenaline hormone, number one, responsible for the vital activities that happen inside the body, but in which time, when the individual is subjected or exposed to emergency or situations as fear and fight, or excitation, and during muscle exercise and extra effort on the muscle. And also, this hormone increases the sugar or glucose level in the blood. By what? By three different ways. Number one, by increasing the breakdown of the glucagon stores of the liver into glucose, and also increases the rate and force of concentration of the heart, the contraction of the heart, and finally increasing the blood pressure. All of these changes are able to the muscle to take their demands of energy needed for contraction and increase the rate of the oxygen consumption of or burning of the oxygen inside the muscles or inside the cells. After that, we're going to talk about the pancreas, which is mixed gland. I need you to remember that pancreas is a mixed gland because it secretes the both secretions. It secretes insulin and it secretes the pancreatic juice. Okay, when I'm going to ask you, give reason for pancreas is a mixed gland with exocrine and endocrine secretions. I need your answers to be specific and more organized. To tell me why it exocrine and why it endocrine, and give me an example for the exocrine secretion and an example for endocrine secretion. Well, because the exocrine secretion is in the form of pancreatic juice that's secreted from the pancreatic, that through the pancreatic duct into the duodenum. On the other hand, the endocrine secretion from the groups of cells called islets of Langerhans. Langerhans is the name of the scientist who discovered this group of cells, okay, which contains two types of cells. And the two types are alpha cells. Alpha cells, they are small in number and secrete glucagon hormone, while beta cells, they represent the majority of the cells and they secrete insulin hormone, and it has a very important function inside our body. And we have a picture here to show that. And this picture, also you're going to find this picture in your school book. It shows something which is alpha and beta cells. As we said, alpha cells, they are small in number and secrete glucagon hormone to decreasing the to increasing the blood glucose, and beta cells, they represent the majority of the cells and secrete insulin hormone. After that, we need to know the importance of both of insulin and glucagon hormone. They work contradictory to each other, and the function of insulin and what happened by the deficiency of presence of insulin inside your body. Well, the importance of insulin and glucagon hormones. Number one, there are two hormones are responsible for regulation of glucose level in the blood, and they keep the constant, the blood glucose constant at level ranging from 80 to 120 milligram per 100 cubic centimeter in the blood. But the function of insulin, just insulin, okay, without glucagon, because they work opposite each other. The insulin, it works opposite to they are contradictory to each other. Insulin and glucagon. Do not forget this point. The insulin decreases the glucose level in the blood. By the meaning, if we have a large amount of blood glucose, a large amount inside your blood, the insulin, it rapidly carries a large amount and store them in form of glycogen. As we said, the insulin, from the importance of the insulin, it decreasing the level of the blood glucose inside your body. Number one, it stimulates the oxidation and utilization of glucose in the cells. It is important for transport the monosaccharides except fructose. Okay, again, it transports all of them except fructose across the cell membrane, and also it stimulates the conversion of glucose to glycogen to be stored in the liver and muscles or the lipid. So if you have a large amount of blood glucose inside your body and you do need it, the insulin, it works as a carrier, collects a large amount of blood glucose, okay, and you store them inside the liver in form of glycogen. Okay, so the storing amount of your body inside the liver of the glucose, they are called glycogen. Okay, on the other hand, if you want to get the storing amount of the glycogen inside your body, or the stored glucose, your body it calls the glucagon hormone to get the glycogen outside your body in the blood. So they work contradictory to each other. Insulin decreasing the blood glucose, while on the other hand, glucagon increasing the blood glucose. And but the question here is, what would happen by decreasing in the secretion of the insulin? Well, it causes diabetes mellitus diseases. Again, it causes what? Diabetes mellitus. And diabetes mellitus, it comes from diabetes. It means diabetic patient or infected with the blood glucose. It means what? His body cannot control the amount or extra amount of the blood glucose, and mellitus means real. So we have diabetes mellitus, a real blood glucose, it's already disease, and we have a diabetes insipidus, or the false diabetes. From the symptoms of diabetes, disturbance in the metabolism of the carbohydrates or So the functions of insulin, as we said, it decreases the glucose level in the blood. Through what? It stimulates the oxidation of the glucose, and the importance from the important function for it, it transports the most of the monosaccharide except the fructose to the cell membrane. Inside it, it stores inside the cell to work, plant, grow, and to oxidize most of them, and also to store it in large amount inside the liver. And also it stimulates the conversion of glucose to glycogen. Glycogen means what? The stored glucose inside your liver. Okay, that you do need it at this time. Liver and muscles convert it into lipids. But the question here is, what would happen by the decreasing in the secretion of the insulin? As we said, the person may infected by a disease which is called diabetes mellitus. And from the symptoms of this disease, symptoms of diabetes mellitus, it's characterized by a disturbance. Disturbance is mean disorder. Okay, there is no organizing, any organization inside your body. Okay, this is meaning of disturbance. The metabolism of carbohydrates, definitely the glucose and lipids. The diabetic patient, it always complains of increasing glucose level in the blood, and also abnormal appearance and excretion of glucose in urine. What else? With the excretion of a large volume of water, which explains the symptoms of continuous thirst and sensation and excessive micturition. Well, after that, we need to know the function of glucagon, as you know that they work contradictory to each other. The functions of glucagon. Glucagon, it antagonizes the action of the insulin, or it works, as we said, contradictory to the insulin, where it increases the glucose level in the blood. It takes the large amount that's stored by the insulin inside the liver and make it a very valuable in the blood, where it increases the glucose level in the blood. Through what? Through the conversion of glycogen to glucose, but only in liver. Okay, so we have two hormones here. They secreted by pancreas. They are contradictory to each other. Insulin decreases the amount of blood glucose by storing the extra glucose inside your liver in form of glycogen, while the glucagon, it takes the stored amount of glycogen and make it available inside your blood. Okay, if you want to get more energy and there is a deficiency in the blood glucose, the glycogen, it rapidly starts to work and to get the stored amount of glycogen or the stored glucose inside your liver to make it available for the body cells in your blood. Okay, as we said, the function of glucagon, it antagonizes or contradictory to the action of the insulin, because it increases the glucose level in the blood, and by what? It converts the glycogen, that the stored glucose inside your liver, to convert into glucose. The 6 glands, or the gonads, of the hormones are secreted by gonads. The function of gonads, as you're going to know, I know that you know the function of them, we studied them before. Number 1, production of the gametes. So number 1 is production of gametes, which ova and sperms or spermatozoa. Number 2, the 6 hormones are steroids. Just an extra information for you. and also production of sex hormones, which is testosterone and progesterone. They are responsible for maturity and formation of ova in the female and sperms in male. Also production of sex hormones that are responsible for growth of genital organs and the appearance of secondary sex characters in both of male and female. Well, from the male sex hormones, the male sex hormone, which is called androgen, and it's secreted by the interstitial cells of the testes. And also we have the male sex hormone, which is the two. Also we have its function. We said it what? Testosterone and androsterone. Okay, but their function is what it, as we said, the responsible for the growth of the prostagland and vesicle seminalis, and also the appearance of male sex characters. I mean the enlargement of muscles and harshness of the voice and appearance of hair and face and some different body parts. But what about the female sex hormones? The female sex hormones, we have three hormones here. They are related to the secreted from the ovary. Estrogen. This hormone is secreted from Graafian follicle of the ovary, and its function, it helps the appearance of female sex characters, such as what? Increasing the size of the breast and the thinning or the voice becomes more delicate in female, and also accumulation of fats in some body parts. And also it regulates the menstrual cycle. We're going to study the menstrual cycle in details in the next chapter, chapter 3, in the sexual and asexual reproduction. And what else that we have? We have the progesterone hormone, which is secreted from the corpus luteum of the ovary and placenta. Placenta, it's a part that connected between the mom or the female and his baby. Its function, it has important function during the pregnancy, the time of pregnancy, because it regulates the vascularity of the uterine wall of the walls of the uterus, and also it prepares it to receive the embryo. Okay, and after that we have the last hormone, which is relaxin. Relaxin secreted from the corpus luteum, is secreted from the corpus luteum, placenta and uterus. Again, the only hormone that's secreted by 3 different organs inside your body, inside the body: the corpus luteum, placenta, and also the uterus. Its function, it causes the function of relaxin. It has important function during pregnancy, as we said, because it prepares the uterus for receiving the embryo. At the end of this chapter, I hope you learned more about the endocrine system and the endocrine glands and the different hormones and their functions inside our body. Finally, I need you to study hard and to prepare yourself for the next time. See you. Thank you.